welcome to the No Spin News, Thursday, January 5th, 2023. Stand up for your country. So Kevin McCarthy, I'm starting to feel sorry for the guy. So 8 votes and no speakership as these Republicans who despise McCarthy are holding out. And it's just like a merry-go-round, round and round and round and round. Now, the cold truth is that Americans don't care about this. How do I know that? TV ratings, they're always the indicator. So yesterday, Wednesday, all hell broke loose about McCarthy not being able to secure the Speaker of the House position. You would think that at night people would go to the cable news networks to watch. They didn't. There was a little slight bump up, but not much. Now, if you go out, most people don't even know who Kevin McCarthy is. They never heard of him. And that is the subject of this evening's Talking Points Memo. So why? Why? Because this is important. I mean, whoever runs the House of Representatives, as Nancy Pelosi well demonstrated, has an enormous amount of power, probably the second most powerful person in the country next to the president. So this is big, right? Who's going to be the next speaker? Americans don't know. Kevin McCarthy, do your own survey. I mean, the next 5 people you talk to, ask them, well, what do you think about Kevin McCarthy? That's the question. What do you think about Kevin McCarthy? I guarantee 4 out of 5 not going to know what you're talking about, unless you're in really elite circles. Now, if you watch and listen to the No Spin News, as you are right now, that shows you know and you care, but your co-citizens don't. Why? Why don't they? Number one, politics is not generally fun. It's not fun. So fun is right here. Right here. Everybody's got fun in their hand now. Because you can play games here. You can go places. You know what it is. You know what it is. Okay? So if something's not fun, and you have something in your hand that can get fun right to you immediately, what do you think you're going to do? And people get addicted. So every spare moment, and you see it walking down the street, eating meals, they can't stop. And so that the other things that are important, but not fun, go by the wayside. Number 2, the fun machines have shortened attention spans. So you're going to watch and listen to me for 42 minutes. Most Americans, many Americans can't do that. They can't sit and watch anything unless stuff is blowing up or it's porn or something like that for 42 minutes. But information programming, flow of information, there's no way. The concentration spans are so short. It's why book reading and book sales in America are declining. The people can't sit there with the book because they're too Google-fied. They're used to seeing things that take 3 or 4 minutes to read. A 300, 400-page book, I can't do that. And that's ruining the whole publishing business. Poor education. So most people don't know what the House of Representatives is or the Senate. And they heard of it, but what the interaction is and how laws are passed and how legislation is introduced, and I have no idea because they're not taught it. They're not taught it in school. When I was teaching high school way back in the 70s, okay, those kids came into me and it was a blank slate. They knew nothing. And I was teaching seniors and juniors in high school. They didn't know anything, okay? Because, in grammar school, it's not emphasized. And the teachers teaching the kids, a lot of times they don't know. Explain the 3 branches of government, Miss Swanson. Okay. And then, folks, many of us are just exhausted. We don't have time for Kevin McCarthy's 8 failed votes. If you have to make a living and then you come home to urchins who need your attention and nurturing, you're exhausted. You are. And then to kind of branch off into complicated political machinations, you don't want to do that. You want to watch the game or some dopey reality show. You want to lose yourself and look, I just need a little relief. I don't want to look at Kevin McCarthy and guys, who hate him. And that is an excuse, but it's a valid excuse. All right? It's a valid excuse. I don't think Americans have ever had to work harder to prosper than they do now with inflation and an insane social situation where you can get fired at any moment for saying something that offends the woke people. It's a lot of pressure on people, a lot. And they come home and they want to turn on the news and watch this one say that one and this one and who is that, and no. So the result is that Kevin McCarthy, although a very important story, and it will work itself out, okay? I don't think that the country is threatened by this or anything like that. That most people, they're not engaged. They're far more engaged on the 4 college murders in Idaho than they are on Kevin McCarthy's travails. Because Idaho is exciting in a bad way, but it's a murder mystery, okay? And now we have, it looks like a resolution to it, but people will follow that. It's like O.J. Simpson. That story was the biggest crime story I've ever covered. And it just dwarfed any political thing. All right, so we are living now in a country that is distracted more than ever before because my parents, your parents probably didn't have this addiction, right? If you wanted entertainment, you had to come and watch a network show or go to the movies or put on a record player, okay? But now it's in your hand. It's changed everything, and not for the better, by the way, because right now, America is a corrupt country. And I don't even think most people know that. We are a corrupt country because our political system is not operating in an honest way. It's as simple as that. When you have the FBI interfering with presidential votes, you got corruption at the highest level. The highest level. And I'm going to go out on a limb and say, this Hunter Biden, Joe Biden stuff, there's something there. There's something there. I'm not convicting anybody of anything, but I'm watching that investigation because I believe there's something there. I could be wrong, and if I am wrong, I'm going to apologize. But I don't think I am. We live in a country that's corrupt. And who's trying to solve that problem? Who? The only entity that has the authority to expose the corruption is the House of Representatives under the GOP. That's why McCarthy's situation is so important, because those committees have to get up and running to look into this corruption. There's 2 big stories. Forget about the other stuff. It's just noise. Number 1, FBI, CIA, any of those agencies, did they get involved in the electoral process? Number 2, did Vice President Joe Biden take money from his son Hunter? Money that Hunter got from foreign countries. Those are the 2 issues. We have committees in the House of Representatives investigating those 2 things. Forget about the Democratic Party. They never in a million years investigated. Forget about the corporate media. Never going into it. Ever. That's different than it used to be. Watergate was generated by the Washington Post. Okay? That will never happen again because those agencies, news agencies, have been corrupted. They're part of the overall corruption of this country. Okay? The reason that I prosper, and I'm talking to you now, is because I'm not corrupt. I will tell you the truth no matter where it lies. The corporate media will not do that. They won't. You know it. You know it. You see it every time you turn on the channel. So, unless Americans start to really figure it out, this country is going to get more corrupt. And there's going to be more wild spending. $6.2 trillion in unfunded spending by Joe Biden in less than 2 years. Nobody would believe that 10 years ago. And that's all going to come back on us. It's all going to come back on us. I can't predict how, but you can't spend that kind of money that you don't have and think it's not going to affect the overall economy. It will. And the House of Representatives is the body that controls spending. Ask that question to your friends after you ask them who Kevin McCarthy is. Who controls spending in this country? I'm going to know. I hate to be cynical, but I got to tell you the truth. And that's the memo. There is a concerted effort to intimidate and silence conservative thinkers, rewrite American history, and replace our God-given individual liberty with big government controls. The very freedoms secured by our Constitution are now being threatened by the most liberal leftists our nation has ever seen. They have failed to secure our borders, weakened our position on the global stage, are trying to indoctrinate and corrupt our children in school, and the list goes on and on. But there are plenty of patriots with the courage to stand up to the far left. AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens, is the leading conservative advocacy and benefits organization in the USA. I am a member, and I hope you will join as well. AMAC members have access to money-saving benefits, a robust website and mobile app, and a magazine filled with all kinds of great content. So please join AMAC today at amac.us and tell them O'Reilly sent you. That's amac.us. All right, here is the mail segment. If you would like to be included in this, bill@BillO'Reilly.com. bill@BillO'Reilly.com. For those of you listening on the radio, we have more than 100 stations that carry the No Spin News now. Name and town. The TV people have got it, but the radio people, name and town if you write me a letter, because I'd like to use it. Now, when you write a letter, it has to be of interest to a lot of people, because we got millions of people listen to us. It can't be just something you want. It's got to kind of be a little wider, all right, if you want to get it read. So Mary Jane, concierge member, I hope you all check that program out. It'll be very important this year for your life. Mary Jane says the 2-day voting marathon in the House is nothing more than an embarrassing spectacle. They should go behind closed doors, duke it out, and come out with a unified decision on who should be Speaker. Okay. I mean, I'm all for negotiation, but some of these people, these far-right people in the House, don't look like they want to negotiate anything. Gloria, another concierge member, Biden's party is a solid bloc, Democrats. Yes, that's true. Yet, here he is in Kentucky and saying we have to work together. By that he means Republicans have to give in to whatever the Democrats want. Donna, another concierge member, 3 in a row, and all women. And we're happy to have you. What a chaotic mess the Republicans have created. I never agree with James Carville, but now he's right when he says the Republicans are committing political suicide for 24. I don't think so, Donna. I think this will be worked out, and I think people will forget about it, and I don't think it'll be an issue in 24. I could be wrong, but Carville is very rarely right. Peggy Davis, Philadelphia, how can Republican vote for Democrat for Speaker? I'm shocked and appalled. No Republican is going to vote for Jeffries as Speaker. He's not going to get one vote. That would be, you couldn't do it. If you were a Republican elected to House and voted for a Democrat Speaker, you're done. So that won't happen. David, concierge member. Bill, while your points regarding the shortcomings of the various airlines are valid, there's one point you're not up to speed on. Many airline pilots retired early because of the COVID lockdowns. The education training of new pilots is a long process. That is true. So why don't the airlines then make their schedules to coincide with their personnel, David? The problem here is they have all these flights scheduled and they can't fly them. So yeah, they're looking for pilots. Bring the schedules down. Makes sense? I mean, we're still running 40% delays this week on the major airlines. Ridiculous. It's absurd. Ralph, 100% right on the airlines, O'Reilly. Look at how much the airlines got free from the government during COVID, and they didn't hire baggage handlers or other people. Exactly right. They got billions of dollars. We gave it to them, taxpayers, on the COVID front, and they just put it in a bank. Jim Knox, Jacksonville, North Carolina. I lost some respect for Barbara Walters because of her softball interviews with Clinton and Obama. She was not me. She was a celebrity interviewer. That's who she was. Antonio Colonna, New York City. Bill, enjoy the No Spin News. Your broadcast is more than worth the price of a subscription. Thank you. You mentioned on Tuesday the government pays for transporting migrants to their desired destinations. I witnessed this the other day on a return trip from Phoenix to Newark. There were 6 migrants on the flight. It was obvious that everything they had was paid for by the taxpayer. Absolutely. Absolutely right. And that is going to run into hundreds of billions of dollars. Crazy. Word of the day, no flummery. Flummery. Great word. No flummery. And we'd like you to go to the BillO'Reilly.com store and pick up some great stuff. Final thought in a moment. Inflation at its highest level in 40 years. Interest rates skyrocketing. We all know that. Market experts like Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan, not only predict a recession, but are using scary terms like economic hurricane and unprecedented. So, you need to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They will show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Please call them today, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. They have thousands of satisfied customers, are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they'll give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Please call 866-501-5201, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Again, 866-501-5201, or text BILL to 65532. Here is the final thought of the day. I don't have a lot of time. I'm up against the clock. But it's going to be a rough 6 months for Joe Biden. Once we get by this House Speaker thing, the investigations are going to kick in. As I said up top, man, if I had a bet, Biden and his son, that's not going to turn out well for either of them. FBI, not going to turn out well for the FBI. Now, I could be wrong. I know a lot of you are cynical about it. But those things, to me, it's not going to take a lot to expose them. Thank you for watching and listening to the No Spin News. We'll have a new column on Sunday noon, and we will see you again on Monday. If you are stuck in a timeshare and you haven't called Lone Star Transfer yet, what are you waiting for? Lone Star Transfer has helped more than 16,000 happy customers. They are family-owned, have a 99% success rate. Their process is done legally, ethically, and quickly. I mean, does it get better than that? The team at Lone Star Transfer will keep you informed every step of the way until you are legally and permanently released from your timeshare. So, don't pay another penny for a timeshare you don't use. Get peace of mind today with Lone Star Transfer. They guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. Give Lone Star Transfer a call for a free no-obligation consultation. 855 855-551-7066, 855-551-7066, or online at lonestartransfer.com.